Hi, my name is Alejandro, and this is my approach to the drum problem. Before we begin, there's some considerations that I took before designing my system. Maybe the user will want to change the perimeter of the area of the coverage. If he wants to change, will want to change the number of drones. It will change. Maybe will want to change the capacity of each of the drones, and if he wants to change the initial point where the drones will start, if it wants to move not only in cardinal directions but also in diagonals, or if it wants to change the input mechanisms, not only using texts but other kinds of inputs to give the order. So how did I approach the problem? What I did is basically I follow two patterns, the adapter pattern and the sub-pop pattern, in order to create the system. So as we are receiving text documents as our main input, what we're doing is putting an interface that will translate those inputs into orders, and then that will be then processed by the drone's controller. So this function, basically what it does is translating um, these orders into orders that the drones then will follow as cardinal movements that then will be used to define the positions and the deliveries. And because I wanted to compartmentalize the process of creating documents, what I did is that I used that every time that a deliver it's made, then it will then publish an event that is called the deliver success, and then the create docs from logs. It's basically takes subscribes to this event, and every time that a delivery is made, then it will log that into the file that then later can be consulted by the client through the different endpoint. On the other hand, because there are so many things, as I mentioned at the beginning, that might change in the future, I decided to create endpoint that will take a JSON object configuration that basically will configure the whole system. So with this in consideration, let's start and seeing it in action. So in here we see the configured object that we're going to send. So basically what it does is it defines the perimeter of the service of the restaurant. It assigns the number of drones. It assigns the initial state of the drones, the location, and the maximum capacity of each of the drones. So this way, with just one single document and one single call, we can define different numbers of documents and logs if we want to change it in the future. Now that we have created our initial configuration, we're going to send the documents because Postman doesn't allow me to send many documents at the same time. What we're going to do is just use this small HTTP web page where we're going to send a whole set of documents that contains different instructions for or drones. As we can see, we put some mistakes on the document number 5 and the document number 6, so we will see how we are handling the servers. As you can see, the output of these documents, what we receive then after being processed, is the new documents. And because we sent some bad requests, we can see that, for example, it says here that we have an invalid extraction on line 6, letter 5. In this case, this was this one. On in here, we have that the address at line 2, it's out of range, then, because that means that we move out of the possible area of scope of the initial perimeter. Now that we have all our documents, we can access our documents just by calling a get method that will allows us to get the input. So we have two main ways. We have the first one that basically what it will do is like we'll concatenate all the documents and we have it as a text plain, or we can pass it on a query string with a zip through. That means that we will receive um, or documents as a zip document file, because well we see that we cannot have zip files received by Postman. We can see that the document got created here, so we have right now all reports all storage in our zip file. So if we enter, for example, in localhost 4000 the address routes, and we asked to have the zip set to true, um, then what was going to happen is going to prompt us to download or reports um, file, which will contain all the documents on the report. So also, what I did is I created some integration testing to test all this functionality that we have discussed up until now. And yeah, this is basically the project. If you want to have more information about all the endpoints are going to be described in this little document, which describe like with a little more detail the endpoints that are going to make that is going to be available for that can serve this application. So thank you so much for your time, and this is my presentation for the drones problem.